Hey everybody, welcome to our Casting the Vision call. I'm so excited that everybody's here. We have Patty from the UK. I think Lynn might be joining us from the UK. And we have some guest speakers that I'm super excited about. We have Gina, who I just spent 3 days with in Phoenix. And Brian from Gina's team has joined us as well, which is awesome because Gina, when we were talking about this call, shared with me a little bit about Brian's story. Since Brian is pulled over on the side of the road just to be able to share with us, I'm going to let Gina set up Brian's story, and then we'll release him so that he can carry on driving. And then we're going to come back, Gina, and talk about how this, what the genesis of this was.
Audio's not working. I'm actually going into a webinar, and my audio will not work at all, and I don't know why. I'm sure it's something simple.
Jill, maybe Gina, somebody needs to mute.
Well, it's quiet in my house, but I think there's a lot of people not muted. Is there a way you can mute everybody?
Everybody's good. And so that's how we're going to start. So Gina, I'm going to let you
introduce Brian.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, hi everybody, and thanks for having me on the call, Dawn. We were just at the Summit Influencers event together, and we were just talking a lot about casting the vision, and I know that was the topic of today's call, and Dawn had asked me to join in. So we're going to be sharing some ideas with you. But to start, I wanted to introduce Brian. Brian and I had known each other when we were growing up, actually, when we were kids. And he has been with Isagenix for, I would say, 4 years. I think that's right, Brian. And you know, he was great with the products, loved the products, kind of dabbled a little bit in the opportunity, but more so just to share. And anyway, he's going to share more recently what has changed for him. And it's about really being true to your reason for doing this and to your why. Are you guys hearing me okay, or is it still noisy in the background?
Yes.
You okay, Dawn?
I can hear you. I've got everybody muted, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Okay. So Brian, I know you're driving right now, and he's going to just quickly share, Brian, really how important it was for you to, and you could share how the financial drive wasn't really an issue. You know, that wasn't your why, financial reasons. So your story is a little bit different. So if you can just share what's changed for you since you really had to connect with your purpose with this and how your mindset has changed.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Tom, for a little bit. Like Gina said, I've been with Isagenix for about 4 years, dabbled a little bit, but very recently, my family and I were down in Disney on vacation, and I kind of sent a message and just said, hey, listen, I want to really go for this next 90 days. I really haven't committed to the business side of things, and I really think my purpose is to help people around me, you know, succeed, and also take some of the financial burden off. So why is like everyone pay bills and things. That has a wonderful job and she can support us. Really, I'd like to help her retire sooner. I don't see her retiring from her job, but I really enjoy sharing and helping people generate their why and also share this amazing gift and products. When I returned from Florida, I was kind of figuring out what I was going to do. I reached out to my people and just decided that every single day I was going to change. I was going to wake up and have my mindset shifted to who can I serve, who can I help today, who can I bless. And I've really seen a miraculous change in myself and the universe around me. I wasn't a real big believer in that, to be honest with you, but very, very recently I decided to go for it. And, you know, I've had a lot of success with conversations and enrolling people and also converting some of my existing consultants or associates into consultants. I've also, you know, the universe just randomly had a woman that had my card 6 months ago, called me on Monday, said she wanted to meet at 1 o'clock. And at the same time, I switched my motivation around. While driving home, I saw this new business that opened called Millionaire. In the past, I probably would have just drove by or walked in and, just ordered some, got some meals. Walked in the door and just decided to have a real conversation with the guy and tell him how much and how well his meals would be incorporated into my business. And I was looking for team members and basically talked about how expensive it was to open a business and how low the overhead and entry is into Isagenix, and would he be interested in open to all. I've really dove into it full force, and can't wait to see what happen in the future, not only for myself, but fellow teammates and people on my direct team.
Thank you. I think, and also I know Brian's, he's kind of in the woody type of mountains, so his audio was a little choppy. It's usually when he's driving and what area he's in, but just to kind of sum it up with him, what's been so amazing, and I was on the phone with him and I said, don't you see it? Like, isn't it so cool when you make a decision and you make up your mind and you commit, how all of a sudden he's just like on fire, and like it's not that those people weren't in existence before, but it's just how your mindset shifts and you're really, really secure with your why. And then it opens this up, and he's like, you know what? It is starting to freak me out. This universe stuff it's really working. So it's a really cool story. And also that he had to really find out why he wants to do this and what would drive him, because, his wife has such a great position and money wasn't an issue. So he had to really dig deep and find what his purpose is, to help others and serve others. And, he really was affected when I told him about Eric Worre saying the world is not served by us playing small. And, that really hit home with him as well.
All right, super. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brian, for sharing, because it's one of many points that we're going to cover. So hang on, because we've got a lot of territory to move through while we do this. But get super clear. People are motivated by different things. People are motivated by different things. So don't think this is all about the money for everybody, because for Brian, this was not about the money, right? Telling him about the money wasn't working, right, Gina?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he earn all this money? Well, he didn't care. His wife makes good money. He stays home. He stays home with the kids, right? And so the money was not a motivator. Some people are super motivated by competition, right? Oh, you could win this prize. You could win this thing. Gina, you're motivated by competition. You're super competitive. Some people, that's a motivator. Some people are motivated because they want to be part of something. They want to be part of something bigger. They want to be part of something meaningful. They want to be a member of a high-performing team. That's a big deal for me. And a lot of people, they just want to help other people. They will do this business because they can help other people. So you kind of have to, when you're casting the vision, you're always coming from your why, right? Your absolute certainty about why this is important in the world and why it's important for you. But you also have to be like, kind of have your feeler out for what's important for them. Because if you're going to talk about the money, well, Brian doesn't care about the money. If you're going to talk about how many people you help not just get healthy, but how many people, I just heard a statistic, write this down. This one, like, I got this. 50% of bankruptcies could be avoided with an extra $500 a month. Wow. Right? Gina, I'm going to circle. I got a couple more. 50% of marriages end in divorce, and the biggest stressor in marriages is financial. Stress, especially stress, money's the biggest stressor, impacts our health, right? Stress over money impacts everything. So who are we to assume? Like, seriously, who are we to assume? Oh, so-and-so doesn't need this because he's a lawyer. So-and-so doesn't need this. He's a doctor. So-and-so doesn't need this. He's got 4 or 5 businesses. He owns all these companies. So-and-so doesn't need this. So-and-so could be this close to bankruptcy and you don't even know it, and you're not sharing because you're making assumptions, right? So it's not for us to assume, it's just for us to be really passionate about what we know is a really great opportunity. Because wealth is not about having money, wealth is about having options. So I'm gonna stop and turn this over to Gina for a minute. And I want Gina's gonna explain what happened for her and her team, what happened for herself personally, and what happened for her team, and kind of how this genesis of getting better at casting the vision became imperative, and how they went about doing it. And she's going to give us a few pointers. Over to you, Gina.
Yes. So yeah, I'm excited to share this because I think a lot of teams might be experiencing this as well. So for those of you just who don't know me, I've been with Isagenix almost 5 years and started really as a product sharer. I was not going to events. I was not using the resources. I was doing everything I could to hide that it was an MLM. I mean, I was just one of those people for about 2.5 years. And I still was making money just by sharing. And I realized that there was more to this. Went to an event, got very serious, had some great team members started to join me and have a strong why. And within 2 years, I was able to earn a 6-figure income. Now multiple 6-figure income going into 2018. My husband and I were able to sell our fitness business and move. We just moved about 3.5 months ago to North Carolina. So, it's an opportunity if you want that opportunity, for sure.
Can I ask you a question, Gina? Because
Sure.
you moved to a place that you don't have any family. You left a place and you moved to a place. And why did you do that?
It was, we were living in South Florida and we had our own business, and we have 2 little girls. They're 5 and 8 right now. And long before we had children, my husband never envisioned us living in South Florida and raising our kids there. We both grew up in Pennsylvania. We met in Florida, but we're both from Pennsylvania. We both had the seasons. It was just the cost of living there. The schools weren't great. There was a lot of a drug epidemic going on, and our business was outside. My husband started having issues with skin cancer, and we just didn't feel it was the right fit for us anymore. And we did a road trip over spring break to the Carolinas, expecting that maybe down the line we might move, and we just absolutely fell in love. We all felt we could live. We down to a neighborhood that we ended up moving to. It honestly felt like God pointing this to us. This is where you will be happier and raise your kids. And it was time for a change with our business because it did take us away from our family. My husband had to work nights every single evening. We never had dinner together. But it was our own business and we were passionate about it. So we would have really had to stay. It's almost like you're married to your business, that's your income. And when we fell in love with the area and we thought, well, we can really live here, I saw what I was earning in Isagenix and I'm like, it's possible. And since we've been here, we've actually only had that one income. So it's really given us, as, John just said, wealth is about choice. And if that isn't an example of having a choice and not having to worry about finances and working from anywhere, I mean, that really was the main thing.
That's why I wanted you to share, because if you looked at Gina's life in South Florida, it might not have occurred to you to share an opportunity with her. She's got her husband's a business owner. They own this great gym. They're really happy. Her life looked great, right? And now look at what she was able to create for her family. It wasn't necessarily great, right? There were issues where you were. There were issues. And now, because of Isagenix and because of the freedom and because she was able to make a choice, she's created a whole new life for her family, which I think is really awesome. And so,
and even prior to Isagenix, matching what we were bringing in and then doubling what we were bringing in compared to our other business, prior to that, it was an amazing supplemental income. It paid for our children to go to private school. When we were in where we lived in Delray Beach, we loved living, close to the beach and the action, but the schools were not good. And we really, really wanted our kids to go to a nice, smaller private school. And we did not have the extra money to pay for it. So initially that was the focus, is Isagenix was paying for the school tuition every month. So, every, passing time that goes by, people's why can change and their focus can change. And really that was what I was very happy with. I was happy that the Isagenix I could do from home, and it was covering my kids' education and my products. And then it started to be a little more and a little more. And then I decided to go to an event and see like what really is going on here with this opportunity. And then I really did. I was dreaming bigger, and I saw financial freedom ahead of us, and I got to work.
But you still weren't comfortable casting the vision.
So yeah, the casting the vision, this is what we have started to notice. I don't know if you guys ever have used or heard of Tracy O'Malley's 14-day talk. It's basically when you have a coaching call when somebody comes in for the products, which is for my team most of the time. Almost all of the time people come in for the products. Very few times somebody comes in just for the business. It's usually products first. For our team anyway, that's what we've seen. So we walk them through the first 14 days. This, you're going to feel this, and then you're going to, be so amazed by the end of the 14 days. People will notice, and they'll ask you what you're doing. And at that point, can you please make sure you either, let me know about it. I'll coach them, I'll help them, or I can show you how to refer them and get your products paid for. And we just say, just don't say Isagenix, they can go online and not have a coach and the support. And that is a seed that you plant. That is not casting a vision. So we really got hung up with planting seeds, but then we failed to then cast the vision further than that. And then we noticed that was, happening because we were noticing that the depth in our team wasn't really trickling on as much as we would think. So, I think the casting the vision feels awkward, if I'm being honest, especially if it's somebody that you are not really close with. And when something feels awkward, you tend to just avoid it, right? It's just a natural habit. And I was just as guilty. If I was comfortable with somebody and I was like, it flowed well, fine, bam. But if it was just, I just had a hard time. So I figured my team must be having a hard time, and we talked about it. And something we started doing was having practice, like calling each other and practicing. And I'll tell you, I practiced with one of my team members, and I was sweating. Like, I was practicing with her, and she was totally role-playing with me and asking me questions, and I felt nervous. Here I'm doing this how long? Built a huge team, going to these leadership events, and I was practicing, and I was feeling nervous, and I thought, my team is having a hard time at this, if this is even something a little awkward for me. And a lot of times when we do have to cast the vision, it isn't somebody that we're super comfortable with. So we have to practice that to get better. So they started to do this with each other. And it's not much time. They basically text each other or they have a group message and who's free at 12 today to do a practice. And it's really making them more confident. They're giving each other feedback. And that would be one of my suggestions. If anyone, you or your team is struggling with that, casting the vision. And so how we set it up is two ways. One way is the most common way. Somebody comes to you for the products, you have them enrolled, and now you're going to set up a coaching call to make sure they're ready. Do you have the materials? Do you know what Facebook group to go to when you have questions? Do you know the guide? You want to make sure they're ready. You want to be there for them for their product experience. And then we practice that if that was a person that was in that situation, how would you then cast the vision? So some pointers I'll give you on that. One is as you're connecting with them, which I always think you should do a coaching call with someone before they start, even if they text you and say, I have everything, I'm good to go, I have no questions. I will be honest, I was guilty of avoiding the call when they told me that. Like, okay, you're good, we're both busy, okay. I find that my connection with the person, the trust, the retention, the relationship is so much stronger when I start out with that initial coaching call. When I fail to do that and everything's via text and emails, it's just not the same. And so talking about years of doing this. So I really highly suggest that even if someone says, I'm all set, okay, well, when's 5 minutes? I just have a couple questions, want to make sure you're set up correctly. So what you want to do is get them excited about their product experience. Usually by this time, what their why is for their their product? Is it weight loss? So somebody might have said, 10 pounds, they wanted to lose, their energy is low. So you want to always get them super excited. This is going to be great for you. Wait till you see your energy start to come back. You're going to see the pounds go. For women, I usually say, watch your body composition. Don't just go by the scale. You want to get them mentally prepared, their mindset right. I'll tell them about Healthy in Mind program, because I think that's so important. It's helped a lot of my people recently. And then I tell them, I know that you came to me for the products, and I want to make sure that you have the best product experience. So I'm going to coach you with the products. I'm excited to do that. I just want you to also know that what I'm most excited about is that with Isagenix, it's also been a wealth creation opportunity for me, and it has absolutely given me financial freedom in my life and allowing me to do what I love, which is to help people with health and wellness, just like I'm doing for you. But I want to make sure you know that that's also something I do, is I can help you if you go along and you like it and you want to share the products. Even if it's just that you want to share with some people that you love and care about and earn money to get your products paid for, I can help you with that. But for me, it's been so much more. So if you or anybody you know are ever in that situation where the extra income would be life-changing for you like it has for me, just keep that in mind. Because, if you don't say that and what you're excited about, and then for my new people, what they've been saying is, I'm so excited to help you with this product, how it's changed for me, especially when you're brand new, how you have that initial, first couple months, it's just life-changing. When you're on for 4 years, you kind of forget how amazing it is because you've been on the products for so long. But for the new people, I'm so excited about you having the same results that I just experienced. I feel so good. I'm keeping the weight off. I have more energy than ever. I'm just super pumped for you to feel the same. But also what I'm most excited about is that just by sharing this, I've been able to cover my own products and pay down my debt, or whatever it is that you're excited about. So that's the first thing I think is comfortable, is to, when you cast a vision, is to express your excitement for your vision first. Because if you don't know the person well, sometimes the personal questions about money, relationships, they don't come up easily that first conversation. But what you do by sharing your heart is now you're opening up that conversation for another time. So I like to, I find,
because people don't buy what you sell, they buy why. So you
that
have
is really
so
true.
strong and so convicted and so excited about your why, about why you share this, that they get that. You have to be, have you ever heard the phrase, she who is most certain wins? Have you ever heard that?
It's a good one.
Certain about your why, certain about why this opportunity is so amazing. And if you look at, I'll be right back. If you look at, because this is an important piece and I don't want to miss this piece, your belief has to be a 10. Because if it's not, people will sense that.
Mm-hmm.
Your belief in the products has got to be a 10. Your belief in this company that we do have the best products, hands down, has to be a 10. This is the one I struggle with too, just like Gina. I think I've been doing this 10 years. I don't think I ever said until 2 years ago, 8 years in, right? 2 years ago, I'm a network marketer. It took me 8 years to be able to say that. So I had to work really hard on my belief in network marketing and get to the point where I am now, where I think it's the most amazing industry ever. And I absolutely embrace it. And I say with pride and excitement, when people say, what do you do? I say, I'm a network marketer. Like that, like lit up. Mm-hmm. Because I know this, like nothing else, what it can create for people, whether it's stay out of bankruptcy, whether it's stay home with your kids, whether it's fund your kids' college educations, travel the world, or my personal belief, like this is where I am. This is a vehicle that can fund your legacy. If you're a person that's already, has your house paid for and had a business and like has all these accomplishments, and now you're looking big, you're looking for what's the legacy you want to leave in the world. This is a vehicle to fund your legacy. Don't count anybody out of your vision. Share your vision passionately, whatever it is, whether it's you want to have an amazing beach house and just be able to always welcome family and friends and have it be a warm place where everyone can gather and feel loved, right? Whether it's you want to leave a job that you're handcuffed to because you make so much money, but your heart's not in it and your heart lies somewhere else, right? You want to pursue your, whatever it is, be super connected to your passion for what this can do for you and for people, and be sharing from there. Because if you're not a 10, network marketing, company, products, and yourself, if you're not a 10, people are going to sense your doubt. They're going to key right into it, and they're not going to hear anything you say. They're going to, ooh, she's like that. And that's what is going to register. So if you're not a 10, get to an event. New Year's kickoffs in 3 weeks, get to New Year's kickoff. If you're not a 10, you got to work on that belief. You got to do personal growth, whatever it is, because it is, people are going to connect to why, not what.
Yeah, and John, if I can piggyback on what you, I'm going to piggyback on what you just said about that. When I told you how the first couple of years, I really did love the products. I felt great. And I saw an opportunity that, you know, why not share with other people and, you know, earn an income for referring. I was so, I was like a zero with network marketing in my belief that I did everything I could to like act as if it wasn't a business opportunity. So I didn't share that. Also, I did not have a vision, because when I went to my very first event, which now was 2.5 years after I started my first products, it literally did change everything. And I think the number one reason why is because I caught the vision. The vision, like I didn't really believe it before. And even though I've seen things in podcasts and, you know, I believed it was true that it was happening for those people, but I wasn't really convinced, you know. And when I went to an event, that's what they're great at. They really can cast the vision. And it wasn't so much the stories, because those are always inspirational. And I did believe that other people can work hard and get there. I had no doubt, or I wasn't skeptical about that. But when I saw how huge this company was and how much they were growing and how much integrity the company had and how much integrity they put into the products and the ingredients, the science team, when I saw the corporate office up there, I'm like, this is huge. Like when you're by yourself at home working on your business, maybe on some team calls, you really get lost at how huge this business and company is. So when I saw that, it was really mind-blowing. And I remember my first event thinking 15,000 people are going to be here. Like, you know, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be chaotic. And it was so smooth, so organized, so professional. I feel like I was so impressed with being part of it that my belief started to just go up just from that, just from how well they put events together. I was impressed. And you become proud of the company you're partnered with, and that makes you very loyal. I even talked to some people who, they asked me, how does this compare with this product and this product? Somebody's asking, and I'm like, this is my take on that. You know, why kill yourself doing this research? This person actually had an amazing, amazing transformation, not just weight loss, a significant amount of weight loss, body completely changed, but her health, I mean, amazing. She's so excited about it. I said, just remember how you feel and remember how the product helped you, and just say that. Just say, look, I don't know this product and that product. I know what Isagenix did for me, for my body, for my health. I'm so excited about it. That's what I know. If you're want to get those results, that's what I can tell you. And that's what works. Because when you start to get into comparing and giving data, it becomes salesy.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback on that, because there's a lot of people that have a hang up about, I'm not a salesperson. I don't do sales. I don't know. I can't sell. And I say to those people, we don't sell, we don't share, right? People are going to, this isn't selling. And think about when someone shared Isagenix with you. Did you feel sold to? When someone shared this product with you, this opportunity, the e-shot, whatever it is, did you feel sold to? So just, and for most of us, the answer is no, and I'm so grateful. It changed my life. So get over the whole, this is sales and I don't sell. And, you know, if that's any part of whatever, get over
And
it.
Dawn told me that probably, gosh, over a year ago, that what you just shared, did you feel that you were sold to? And I have used that every time, because I'll have somebody so excited and ecstatic about the results. So we start talking about the opportunity, and I'll give you one in particular woman. She's a realtor, and she's like, you know what? I do really like the products, but I sell for a living. I sell homes. I'm a realtor, and I don't want to have to sell something else. And I used that line that Dawn said. I said, can I just ask you a question? With Isagenix, did you feel like I sold it to you? And she's like, no, I actually reached out to you. And I said, okay, and you're telling me now that you had significant results and people are asking you, right? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I just trying to connect. How come you think you're going to sell? And she's like, oh, you know what? You're right. And she's not somebody that's interested in going to events and all of that, but she's a consultant. She likes to share the products. She's a loyal product user. Her products are paid for. That's her interest right now. I meet her where she is. But she was not even going to even do that and get her products paid for initially, thinking that she was going to have to sell. But when I said what Dawn had taught me over a year ago, and I brought that up, you know, it is really true. And, you know, with her, I did also say, you never know down the line. Right now, you're on fire. Real estate market's great. But real estate is one of those things that go up and down. I said, what if one time you find yourself, you really need a residual income fast? And I told her about, there's someone on my team who's been a product user a very long time, got her products paid for. When her situation changed and she decided to look into the opportunity, bam, she was there, she was ready. And that really struck a chord with her, because as you guys probably know, actually with any job, but real estate can be very up and down. So, you know, when you cast the vision, I think you got to understand that it's different for everybody. You know, their vision for themselves is going to be different. So I think it's best to start out with what you're excited about with your future and the vision you've seen for yourself. And like Dawn said, that excitement is going to shine through. And when you're not there, if you're doubting yourself, if you're doubting this opportunity, it's going to show. And that's when practicing is going to help you, and plugging into other people's stories to build your belief. And also something that Brian said to me was hearing, when he was practicing with the team, hearing their stories helps him for when he's talking to somebody else and he says, you know, your situation is exactly like my friend, you know, so-and-so on my team, because his story is so different. And a lot of times, you know, it's hard for us to relate to everybody. And another example that I have for you guys is, for me personally, when I was already, you know, the Healthy Mind and Body came out and I signed up for it. To me, it was honestly another thing to do in my day. I wasn't helping me because I was already doing those habits already. I was already there. My mindset has already been worked on for years before this. So for me, it was another chore. And because I didn't have any personal connection with it, I failed to mention it to people, because my personal thing was I just didn't use it, because I already had those things in place. What happened was so many people started telling me how it changed everything for them, that was the missing piece, the mindset, that those habits that they were working on, and that self-sabotage that they were doing. And, you know, they didn't have the habit of exercising all the time like I do now. So it was an eye-opener for me that I can't, you know, not share something. And this was just the one program. So imagine this whole opportunity, but I can't not share something just because it didn't connect for me where I am in my life, because it's changed so many other people's lives. So remember that with everything Isagenix offers, you know, use other people's transformation and their story and their belief in it to help you share with others. Because it's hard to share something that, you know, I will be honest, I did the Healthy Mind and Body, and it was things I already do all the time. Like I already do that. Like I'm very focused on setting my intention in the mornings. I schedule my workouts. I meal prep. I have everything's down for me now. It wasn't in the beginning, but now so to me, it wasn't life changing, but for other people, it was like their text messages to me were like, this was what I was missing. So my point to that is be really open to not make your awareness just stop right here. And that's where getting together with your team and hearing everybody's stories and what helps them is super important.
I agree. So don't make assumptions. And we're going to talk about practicing it again in a minute, but a couple different things. So you can come from, I'm so excited. I can't even bear not to share this with you because, oh my God, it has changed my life in so many ways. Look at me, you know, it has changed my life, my family, my finances. It's given us options, right, Gina? Sharing your story, we were now able to move. We live here, like everybody you meet in North Carolina now, right? We live here because of what I do. Like this is, how could I not tell you about it? I can't even stop. So you can come from there. Maybe either you're a little bit different or the person you're dealing with is a little bit, like we did that bank code thing, right? So they might be a knowledge or a blueprint. Say, I can't wait for you to get started. You're going to have an amazing experience. I wish I could be a cleansed version again because your first time, there's nothing like it, right? But here you have everything you need. And I'm obligated to tell you that there is an opportunity and there is a way for you to earn $850, you know, just by sharing with a couple people. I'm obligated to tell you that there is a way to get your products paid for. So if you're a business person, which I am a business person, so sometimes that feels better for me to be very matter of fact. I'm obligated to tell you as part of my job that there is an opportunity and, you know, you can actually make money. I love the magic wand question. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you've all heard it. It's my favorite. I use it all the time. Every party I'm at, every time I'm meeting anyone for the first time, it's so natural for me. That's what launches my Cast the Vision conversation. So if you're not using it, this might be an easy one to use to get really super comfortable with. Even if you've just met someone or it's someone that you've known for your whole life. If you had a magic wand and time and money were of no consequence, you had all the time and money in the world, what would you do with your life? And I actually just asked my Tony for the first time. I never really asked him that question that way, or we didn't actually get, and he said, I would teach fishing seminars. I'm like, what? Who knew? So here's what you'll find. Here's what I find. I'm shocked how many people have no idea. I'm shocked how many people cannot answer that question. They don't have it anywhere in here. They've never dreamed. They've never thought about what life could look like because they're so busy going to work every day, getting in their car, driving to work, driving home, driving the kids, driving to pay the mortgage, pay the bills, do. They've never stopped long enough and been still long enough to look at what life could be. And so ask the question and then give them the space. A lot of people come back and say, oh, I'd probably just work where I work now. Really? I don't care if you love your job. You wouldn't. X, Y, Z, you know, and then I share some things. And then, so I ask the question and we get there. And if you can get them to answer, a lot of people say travel, right? That's their answer. They want to travel. But then you got to dig. Where would you travel? What would you do when you're there? Because most people actually don't just want to travel. Most people want to travel with a purpose, right? Travel and give back, travel and connect, travel and do good work out in the world. So ask the question and wait for the answer and get good at always be curious, right? ABC, always be curious. Just ask and ask and ask and help them develop that vision often for the first time. It's often the first time that people have actually thought, what would I do? What would I do if I didn't have all this, you know, bills and have to go to work and whatever? What would I do? When you can get them to actually say that thing like, well, I would be a concert pianist. I would, whatever it is, I've heard it's like teach fishing seminars. Like, what if you can get them to say that thing, then you're in. Then you just work with that. And then you open it up. to what's possible. And maybe you're not at that point in your business. Tell my story. Like, tell my story. Use it all day long. I mean, I took my daughter and we moved to Barcelona because we could. It was a dream of mine to live out in the world in a community, learn a new language, meet new people. We did it because we could, right? And so use the I'm obligated. If you're dealing with a kind of a cut and dry, you know, I'm obligated to tell you how you can use the passion of, you're passionate about helping other people. You, whatever it is that you can get, you know, emotionally connected to and get them to connect with you emotionally, that's the most important thing, I think. Another thing that I would tell you, so use the magic wand, or we're going to talk about a couple other things, but something that's really important that I want to share with you. I personally believe that there's a lot of people out there in my world right now, and I bet in your world too, that are waiting to be asked. And you're thinking, well, geez, a whiz, you know, I post 3 times a day. Everybody knows my life. Everybody follows me. People follow me. Like, they know I was in London last summer. People say, oh my God, your life, whatever. They don't say, hey, I want what you have. They're waiting to be asked. I'm convinced of it. And I'm getting ready to go ask every single person very specifically. And I'm going to start the conversation. And, you know, see who will meet me for coffee or meet me on the phone or meet me whatever it is. And if it's not them, it might be somebody else. So you might start this conversation by saying, you know, I hesitate to post it because, you know, all the network marketers people are taught, I'm looking for 5 new people to blah, 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 right? I stay away from that because that feels cheesy to me and that feels network marketing to me. So what about this, you guys? We're bringing in the class of 2018. We are looking for people who want to change their life, and we want we're reaching out right now, so we have a whole group that's the class of 2018. Say it like that, and then we'll bring them all in together so that everybody's learning together and growing together. You're all in the same place where, you know, we're all, you know, so there's comfort because then they're part of something. They're part of a group that's getting ready to start, right? So there's that leverage and there's that urgency. Maybe it's, so for me, because I'm sharing this vision like this, I'm looking for people who are ready to create their legacy and fund their legacy. And they see network marketing as the cash vehicle to go do big things in the world. So for me, that's what's true. And that's where I'm coming from. But find the place that's comfortable for you and go out to your people because they are waiting to be asked because they've been watching you and they see you're happy and they see that you're part of this crazy team that does all these fun things together and they want it, but they want you to ask them because there's something, for whatever reason, their own self-doubt or their own stuff is keeping them from messaging you and saying, hey, I want what you have. So offer it to them. Right? Does anybody have any questions? So we're going to set up, I'm going to set up, I was thinking about it. I thought that an easy way to do it would be to just set up a really easy, for my team, a Google Share document. I know a lot of people couldn't make this call and we recorded it, a Google Share document, so that, but what I want to happen between now and next week when we're going to have a follow-up call and everybody's going to share their experiences is I want each of you to call 3 people and practice casting the vision. And it's people in this group so that you're comfortable. So when you're sweating, right, Gina, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous, you can say, I'm so nervous. And role play, because everybody on this call is going to have heard, you know, they kind of know. Let's role play with 3 people on the call. Let's get that done by the next call. Then we're going to share our experiences. We're going to share our hangups. We're going to share where we got stuck. And we're going to work our way through it. And we're going to continue practicing so that sharing the vision is so comfortable with you, for you, that you can do it with everyone. Because I really and truly do. I ask that magic one question wherever I go. I mean, I don't know if Robin's on the call or anybody on the call who's with me. I ask it in the airport, like wherever I go. It's super natural for me. and but it's not for everyone, right? So you just got to find your way and get comfortable. So Gina, do you have any pointers for them, like ways to start or ways to have that conversation?
Yeah, and you know, it's so funny because actually, how you said it, the magic wand question, for me, that's not an easy one. Unless it's someone I'm working with through the products who's then they're interested in the opportunity, and then I'll ask them then. But when it's somebody brand new, it just doesn't flow. I have to practice it more because it just does not flow easily. So I think that it's important that you guys, when you do practice, kind of remember what feels right for you and because if you're sounding scripted and fake, people are going to sense that. So when you're giving feedback to each other, be honest. Say you sound nervous, you're repeating yourself an awful lot. You don't sound like you're focusing in on what you want to say. Don't be offended. Be happy these people are giving you guys, constructive feedback. That's a lot of times with my team that they said that feedback was so helpful because you want that feedback so you could find what your sweet spot is and your comfort is. And I think it's also important to know that I think it's different based on, are you meeting somebody like, John said, just talk to somebody in the airport that you're never going to meet again? Is it a new neighbor? Is it somebody from, your kid's school? Or is it a really close good friend? Because when you know who your audience is, you might have to change up how you're going to approach it. I personally have a lot more confidence when it's a total stranger that there's a chance I might never see them again. And I've done it often. And I practice a lot when we're away, when we're on vacation with waitresses, with people that help us in stores, and start the conversation, get their information. It's great practice for me, and there's no risk of running into them and that, whatever your mind tells you, right? So for me, strangers are always like easiest that I know that I might never see again. And it's great practice too. But I would say, start by being really super clear about your excitement and vision for yourself, because like Dawn said, if you're not coming at it with excitement, it's really going to be tough for them to feel it too. I mean, it just is. If you're, like, oh, I'm, I should be getting my products paid for, I'm happy about that. And it sounds like you're kind of, doubtful. People will pick up on that. So I think step one is making sure you are so clear about your own vision and be excited when you share it. So I would first start with sharing what excites you the most. And like I said, our team, and I don't know, John, if your team has the same thing, where most people come in for the products. There's a solution they're looking for. They're not feeling their best. They finally reached out to you, or they finally got back to you because they hit a point that they want to change and it's not working on their own. So a lot of people come in for the products. So what I would suggest is, if that's your norm, because my day is product people. So that's what I started with. Okay, so if that's mostly what I get, people wanting a solution for something, I need to practice talking to them, getting them excited about that, but then shifting to casting the vision. So if that's the case for you guys, I would start with that as well. But also, I would be ready to cast a vision to somebody that complains about something in their life. I was telling Dawn, I had, a friend. I mean, we don't see each other, talk to each other all the time, but we're very close as far as when we do talk, we're connected. We have a lot of respect for each other. And we were just talking through Messenger, and she said she's in a rut and, just, feeling in a rut and miserable. And I said, oh no, I'm so sorry to hear why. And just, I hate my job. And I said, when are you going to let me link arms with you and show you how amazing this opportunity is? It is so perfect for you. And I would just love for you to experience what I'm experiencing. And she was all about it. We're actually going to talk later today. So be in tune for when people complain about that kind of stuff, and be ready to be excited to say how it's so great for your vision, and then say, man, well, what don't you like? And how? Well, what would you do if you didn't have to go to that job anymore? Like John said, you could kind of work that magic wand question in without saying, if I gave you a magic wand. I mean, you can work the questions into a conversation, so you can utilize that system too. But I would be ready to practice with that, because I found that when I started to shift focus to the opportunity, I was just like Brian was talking at the beginning, all of a sudden now you're more aware of those conversations that come up, that people are complaining about their work, they're never home, complaining about a deadline, complaining about their boss, complaining about their pay, whatever it is. And it is all the time that people are complaining. So be ready for that type of vision casting as well, because I found that when I focused on it, that conversation came up more. It's just like so funny when you put something in your forefront and you're focused on it, those situations come to you. So that would be my advice. I hope that helps.
70% of Americans are dissatisfied at their job. 70% express dissatisfaction with some aspect of their job. I mean, there's a lot of unhappy people out there. There's a lot of people that need this solution. We really, really, really just need to get over ourselves, because they deserve to hear about it. Who are we to assume? Who are we to, we got to get past our stuff, because people need this. If we can help one person avoid bankruptcy by making $500 a month, you guys know that's nothing. It's not hard to make $500 a month with Isagenix. If we could be the difference for somebody in their family in avoiding bankruptcy, isn't that alone? I just heard that today for the first time. Isn't that alone enough reason to get over yourself and get good at sharing the opportunity? Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna set up, unless somebody can tell me a different way to do this, what I wanna do is set up a Google share sheet, and so we can mark in who we shared with, and that person, like, you'll be able to see the other people. I think that's the easiest thing, because Gina, do you have a better way to do it? I don't really want to go that route. If you have a better suggestion, I think we have like 20 people.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it kind of happened so organically that I didn't set up a system. I basically recognized that we needed practice on it, and I have a group of consultants who are very dialed into hitting executive. So we have a group message, and they're all in there racing to executive. So they have a special group message where if there's something important, we just message in there. So they've been just kind of working it through that. But I think an organized way would be great. But that's all they've been doing, is just they know to practice on each other, and they'll say sometimes like, hey, does anybody know about 12? And they've been communicating. But if you want it to be a structured thing, I think that sounds like a good idea, what you said about a document.
Right, I'll throw that together. And then so thank you for your time, Gina. We held you up. I know you're super busy. Everybody's super busy at the holidays. I didn't think we would go this long. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you heard something today that helped you get another step further, because being able to cast the vision, Dina, that's how we're going to create consultants, right? Dina said, I want to create consultants. I want to get to executive, or I want to get back to executive. Being able to cast the vision, getting good at this part, this is how you create consultants. So we're going to practice at least 3 people. If you really want this, I would practice with more people. But I'll set up the Google Share document and then share it into the thread, so you can get in there and just record who you shared with, and make sure you ask for and get feedback. Ask for and get feedback. It is the most important part of this process, and this is what's going to help you get better. The practicing and the getting feedback to figure out what's right for you. So the steps were: get clear on your own vision. If you need to work on belief in one of those 4 areas, company, product, network marketing, and yourself, start to work on those beliefs, and then practice and get clear that we're all here to play big. And the world is not, what is it, Gina? The world is not being served.
The world is not served when you play small. And another thing Eric Worre said that I think is so important is you need to be totally okay with getting embarrassed, with screwing up, with looking bad, because that's going to actually make you better. So, I mean, it is good to practice with each other, but don't avoid connecting to somebody new because you don't feel ready. Sorry, my dog's barking. You have to, don't be getting ready to get ready. You want to go out and do the do, because, Eric Worre was very specific about that. You have to be willing to mess up, to look bad, to get embarrassed, because that's going to happen as you practice on real people other than your team. But don't avoid talking to people until it's perfect. The practice is helpful because it builds confidence and you can get feedback, but don't let it stump you from actually connecting to people. You know, still go out and connect and talk to people and share this.
Thank you so much, Gina.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you for being our
Happy holidays, everyone.
Gina, I will share this in DAR so you can grab it, because I think that hopefully we really appreciate your time and your help, and hopefully you can, this is a valuable tool for you as well.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Okay, everybody, peace out. Happy
Take care,
Wednesday.
everyone.